What's going on, guys? XQ420 here. You know how I get down when I come around. I am back. I am in the building. Got the heater, chopper, burner, toast, all that good stuff on us. First time to the channel, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button for me. In today's video, I had a request from somebody I know. They want to talk about these little flyers they got at their job. 16 bridge building tips for white people. We're trying to build that bridge. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, this is actually circulating around multiple places of businesses, especially here in North Carolina. They've got this pamphlet out, to help white people try to understand how they've been racist all these years and how to help out with the situation. Somebody put some hard work into this. I don't know why, but I don't agree with a whole lot of this. Man, stop trying to shame white people into thinking that they're racist. What's your proof? Have they came up and have they said something, with ill intent towards you, a derogatory name? Have they said I hate all black people, all people of color? You know what I'm saying? You can usually spot them out. They usually ain't hard to spot, but you just put this veil over everybody, man. That ain't the way this works. Kind of like the COVID veil. We just gonna veil everybody. So we're gonna go through these. So it said the first, numero uno in the 16 bridge building tips. Don't expect POCs. Now that's person of color. Okay, person of color. POCs to be your only source of education about race. Oh, so you know why they say that, right? They say that because there's probably some black people, kind of like me, people of color, kind of like me, that's like, man, y'all shouldn't be apologizing to me. You ain't done nothing to me. If somebody has done me wrong, I'm looking an apology from them. But they ain't nobody done me wrong. So they say black, indigenous, and people of color get exhausted explaining the same ideas over and over again. I just get so tired every time a white person joins the conversation. Read a book instead. Watch a documentary. Google terms and ideas. If you must hit up your friend of color for insight, at least buy them dinner and really listen to what they have to say. So but they said, look, man, if you don't know what we talking about, don't be asking black folk all the time. Say, hey, man, how you feel? I ain't got time to mess with you. You know how I feel. I feel oppressed. Stop, man. You feel oppressed. Just let me know. If you let me know where you've been oppressed at, we'll try to attack that. If you let me know. But if you can't tell me and you just heard it from a book, from a documentary, and then what's this with buying them dinner? Do you know them? Are they your friend? You could be buying folks dinner. We are in a recession. You can't even go eat nowhere. They want to shut them back up depending on where you're at. So that's number one. Okay? So we got only 15 more to go. Well, the last one ain't really one. But don't take up too much metaphorical space in the conversation. Metaphorical. Okay, let's read what it's got to say. Yes, this is hard for verbal processors. We know you have important things to say, but white people's ideas and stories are prioritized everywhere else. Take this opportunity to sit quietly and elevate the voices of people of color, POCs. Okay, so what you're trying to tell me here is that, white people don't ever suffer at all. They got this white privilege that keeps them from, suffering in any way, whether it be, medically, financially, even, a man or a woman can be oppressed, can be discriminated against in a particular setting by a particular person. But that don't mean that overall as a whole that's happening. So, once again, it's just that, well, you start going through this, you're like, man, this is almost a reverse racism, man. It's right there at his doorstep. Knocking on his door. Can I come in, sir? Do you have some coffee for me? And a crumpet. We might be doing a little overseas action. England. Coffee and a crumpet. Well, hot tea and a crumpet. So it says, don't compare your experience of oppression or suffering with a POC's experience with oppression or suffering. Why not? Because none of the POCs right now, people of color, were enslaved, I don't believe. I don't believe not one of them were enslaved. Hell, if you want me to be honest, there ain't a whole lot of people left that were they ain't like a overwhelming majority that was left during like the Jim Crow laws. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, look, I can understand how older black people who were around during the Jim Crow laws and stuff, they might still have a little bit of that sting in them, but hopefully they've got past it by now because they see society as a whole has kind of moved past that. But I mean, if you're 20-year-old, bud, what have you been oppressed doing? Let me know. It said, although you might see similarities between your circumstances, resist the urge to interpret a black, indigenous, or person of color experience through your limited lens. You can just barely see. Nearsighted, what you are. Your suffering is real, and it might help you feel more connected to or emphatic, I think that's what that is, towards your friend of color, but your experiences are not the same. Continue to listen and seek and understand. Okay, so just because you suffer don't mean that, oh, okay, I got you. So if white people suffer, it's okay. If black people suffer, or people of color suffer, it's something totally different. Their suffering's different. It's a different level of suffering. Come on, man. Number 4, don't white explain. So do not explain racism to a POC. Do not explain how microaggression they just experienced was actually just someone being nice. Do not explain how a particular injustice is more about class than race, which it is. It is an easy trap to fall into, but you can avoid it by maintaining a posture of active listening. Look, a lot of times, a lot of injustices are through class. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the wealthy people, they're able to skate out of stuff that, this regular old Tom, Dick, and Harry ain't able to get out of. But, I mean, it just is what it is. It's been like that forever. I mean, in every society. The wealthier you are, the more power you have, the more you're able to get away with. That's just it. I ain't white explaining nothing, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's number 4 for us. We go into number 5. Don't make the conversation about you. Okay, well, man. I mean, my feelings don't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you're a white person, my feelings don't matter. Okay. Said the needs, feelings, questions, priorities of white people are centered most everywhere. Or centered. Okay. If you feel silenced or undervalued, use that experience to inform how you treat POC and other spaces instead of developing a victim complex. Well, nobody needs to have the victim complex. You need to be responsible for your own actions and the way you act towards people. Bump the victim complex. We just making too many victims out here. Ain't nobody wanting to step up and take responsibility for what they've done. It said the falling of white tears. Good God, in quotation marks. And don't let that white tear fall from your eye. Does not build bridges, and it shifts the focus from the true problem, racism and inequality, to how you feel about having to learn about it. Man, damn, boy, I mean, that single white tear. Man, but it said, man, don't fall. I mean, don't cry in front of them, okay? If you're white, don't cry in front of them, all right? Because they ain't trying to hear it. Black folk ain't trying to hear it. I guess is what they're trying to tell me. It said, don't equate impact with intent. Yes, we all know your heart was in the right place and you meant well, but your words or behavior had a negative impact on those around you, and that is what matters. Now, how do they know that is factual? I'm guessing they just lumping all white people right here into this one group. Hey, white people, get together, and you got to realize that this whole time you've been going about this wrong, okay? You've been out there just, minding your business and having your friends, white, black, people of color, that you didn't know the whole time you were discriminating against them. I mean, what? They said, despite the best of intentions, as you navigate conversations of race, you will make mistakes and missteps and hurt someone. Humbly apologize and do better next time rather than dig your heels or try to justify yourself. Man, you shouldn't be walking around having conversations about race anyway. I mean, what difference does it make, man? We all going through the same challenges right now. Mainly is that we locked down, and the economy is just right there in the shithole. It don't matter if you're white, black, yellow, green. Man, they got them gray folks that say aliens are here now, but gray people, I guess they gray. I don't know what color they are. So, number 7, don't explain away a POC's experience of oppression. Okay, don't explain it. All right. So they are the expert on their own experience. Okay. So I just want to know about their own oppression then. That's what I want to know. You see, as a black person, I can ask, hey, look, man, let me know how you've been oppressed. Folks will fold up quick. They won't have much to tell you. It'd be something stupid. oh, well, they fired me from a job because I wasn't showing up on time. They picked on me because of my right. No, man, it's because you ain't show up on time. Stop. And said, don't play devil's advocate or provide an alternative explanation for what happened. Take their words for it. Maybe ask a follow-up question like, how did that make you feel? Follow-up question. But you got to be careful when you're asking questions, because then you might try to equate something in your life towards it, and they're like, no, 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 no. No, don't white explain. Don't white explain. I don't want to hear. I don't want to see those white tears fall from your eyes. What? Some crazy stuff, bud. Number 8. If what you are about to say starts with not all, men, white people, evangelists, police officers, etc., don't say it. So they don't. So they want to just put everybody in that lump. So it says all police officers are bad, all white people are bad. That's exactly what they want you to say. Say conversations about race and racism are about systems, institutions, and ideologies more than individuals. Though this is contrary to white cultural norms, it is not helpful or necessary to force the conversation to fit our culture. There will always be good examples which fall outside generalizations, but do not derail the conversation by bringing up exemptions when discussing the rule. Everybody else brings up exemptions. Hey, when we start talking about this COVID-19, everybody, oh man, we had a 20-year-old die. So, man, that's not the rule. It's usually older people. But I mean, okay. So everybody else can bring up exemptions. But if you're talking about it, say, hey man, I got plenty of black friends. You just faking. I mean, you just gonna throw that right in their face. Once again, noise and nonsense, bud. Number 9. Don't demand proof of a POC's lived experience. Or try to counter their narrative with experience of another person of color. Oh, so here, okay, I got you. We're going to read this. The experience and opinions of POC are as diverse as its people. We can believe their stories, but keep in mind, just because one person of color doesn't feel oppressed, that doesn't mean systemic institutional racism is not real. So there it is. So kind of like me, how I get up on this channel and tell you, look, I have never been oppressed. That's it. The county I was in, were there racist people in it? Yeah. I didn't worry about it or care about it. Actually, I was in mostly white classes because I was kind of a smarter kid. So the smarter kids, I mean, most of them in there were white people. It just is what it is. And I got slandered by black people because, oh, you trying to be Uncle Tom, all that. It's like, no, I mean, my mom just taught me at the house, and so I had an early start. So I'm able to pick up stuff quick, and I'm able to learn, and I want to make something of myself. But no, bud, they see that as, oh, I see what you're trying to be. You're trying to be white. You're trying to be Uncle Tom. No, bud, I'm just trying to make it. Isn't that what we all trying to do? Make it, have a good life, and then when it's time for death, you can sit back and say, look, I did the best I could. I mean, that's all I think people want to do. That's all I want to do. So, number 10. Don't believe the classic trope that behavior modification on the part of POC would eliminate racism. In other words, don't blame the victim. Oh, okay. So don't blame how they're acting, their actions. I got you. So POC changing how they dress, what music they listen to, how they speak, or any other number of excuses will not eradicate white supremacy. There it is. That white supremacy. The white privilege. It's a belief in such as a historical shift from biological racism. POC are inherently inferior to cultural racism. POC are culturally inferior. Expecting black, indigenous, and people of color to act more in line with white culture norms is not solution. Well, obviously they ain't looked around because more and more white people are getting into the rap thing, dancing, and all that stuff. I mean, if you look, I want y'all to just look at the TikTok. The folks are famous on TikTok. What are they dancing to? Rap songs, a bunch of songs made by black people. I mean, it's been intermingling for a long time. There's a lot of white people who like black music. I mean, it ain't. And then how they dress. There's white people that dress like black people who kind of talk like them. It just depends on who you've been around the most. You kind of derive your being on who you've been around. That's who you become. So I mean, a classic trope. I mean, what is that supposed to mean? So I'm black. I like a little hip hop. I like R&B. I like mostly older hip hop. I like R&B. I also like heavy metal. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can be diverse and it's okay. I'm not sitting here saying, because that black guy right there, he dresses a certain way, so I know he's evil. No, man. Oh, that white person, oh, they probably looking down on him because he's got cornrows. No, man. Ain't the way it is. He said, do not chastise POC or dismiss their message because they express their grief, fear, or anger in ways you deem inappropriate. So we read about this. So understand that historically, we white people have silenced voices of dissent and lament with our cultural idol of niceness. A false god, what they saying. A false god of niceness. They said provide space for POC to wail, cuss, or even yell at you. Hold on a second. Jesus didn't hold back when he saw hypocrisy and oppression. POC shouldn't have to either. Did y'all see what they just said? Jesus didn't hold back when he saw hypocrisy and oppression. POC shouldn't have to either. Jesus. Because Jesus went out there and was wailing on people and cussing at them and yelling at them. That's what he was doing. Instead of spreading love, repentance, forgiveness, all the things that are nonviolent. I can't believe they just put that in there. Jesus didn't hold back. He preached. He didn't go out there and cuss at people, get in their face, yell at them, lay hands on them, try to hurt them. Dude, Jesus allowed himself to be crucified. If you believe in the Bible, Jesus allowed himself to be killed. He allowed it. But I swear up and down right now, but they're trying to eliminate God. They're trying to eliminate it. They're trying to take it all the way out. That's what they're trying to do. I don't know how else to say it. I can't believe it just said that. I can't believe they put Jesus in this. I'm baffled by that one. They said, don't attempt to equate your experiences visiting, serving, or living overseas with experience of being POC in America. Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, it would be kind of the same thing. Sometimes you go places and people are like, oh, an American, huh? Yeah, because people think Americans have that kind of arrogance, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's not all people. I'm not saying all people when you go overseas, they just, around another American. You have people on both sides. You have a lot of people who's gonna be really nice to you. You have a select few people who are gonna be douchebags. That just is what it is, everywhere. So say, you may have been a minority in your setting, but it is not equivalent experience. Being a POC in America includes a different set of dynamics. White supremacy is not unique to America, but rather a worldwide phenomenon. Worldwide. For the white privilege. You tell those to those Africans down there. Tell those to the Chinese folks. Tell that to the Chinese folks who over there in those detention centers and stuff. They got anything to do with some white supremacy? Let me know. Just let me know. It said, don't underestimate the impact of your words. So you have the power to inflict real lasting damage in these conversations. Be careful. Melanin is not a protective shield. Decide if you want to be a bomb or a battering ram. Man, I don't even know what this means, man. That was just like, I was just like, huh? Don't underestimate the impact of your words. So okay, they got lasting damage. I don't know what you're going to say to them. It's going to cause lasting damage, but, if you're just talking about, how somebody might have been oppressed or how there might have been, some racism sent their way. So, we need to attack the person that's in it, not attack a dynamic of a people. So that was kind of out there. It said, don't forget racism is our problem. It's the white folk problem. It said our people created and sustained it. Dang, Bo. And now it's our job to dismantle it. So ain't nobody else been oppressed in the history of the world. Not anybody. I got you. Okay. I got you. And it was just founded by the white folk only. Ain't nobody else doing it. I got you. It said only by the grace and mercy of God are POC willing to walk this road with us toward racial healing and reconciliation. Honor that reality in how you treat those with whom you want to build bridges. But I don't know about that, man. There's been people throughout history that's been discriminated against. It ain't got to do nothing with white, black, whatever. I mean, them black people discriminating against black people. I mean, it just is what it is. They said don't get defensive when you are called out for any of the above. So if somebody just randomly comes up and calls you right out, say, oh yeah, I know you, crackle. You don't like black folk. I heard you earlier talking about how your husband doing well and your 2 kids are doing well. How dare you? The Smithsonian told me that's whiteness. I mean, come on, man. They said when a person of color tells you that your words, tone, behavior are racist, oppressive, triggering, you stop. Don't try to explain yourself. Don't become passive aggressive or sarcastic. Look, man, when somebody's out there attacking you, dude, man, hey, look, Jesus was the only one that didn't fling some foul words back some people's way. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. Other than that, everybody else, you get heated, some stuff starts bubbling up, and you just let stuff rip. But I'm just letting you know. So don't leave in a huff. Maybe helpful, however, to inconspicuously step outside, go to the restroom, and take a deep breath. Inconspicuously? Man, how you gonna, if somebody gets up in your face, how you gonna inconspicuously do it? Might have to swing on them if they ain't careful. Said, remain, oh God, I don't know what that word is, whatever it is, of the dynamics of white fragility, and take note of how it usually shows up in you. When you get defensive or leave the conversation, you reinforce the POC that white people are not a safe people with which to have this conversation. But like I said, man, you shouldn't be walking around just asking random white people. I said, man, I mean, I'm oppressed. I mean, and your people been oppressing me all this time, man. Folks that don't even know you, and I just want you to kneel before me and just denounce your white privilege. Stop, man. Then they got 16 don't give up, which ain't saying nothing. Look, in closing on this, 16 bridge building tips for white people. The bridge is made of balsa wood, okay? The stuff's going to crumple easily under human weight. And this is just another bunch of noise and nonsense. Another thing to try to get more of a dividing factor, to try to get, all this is doing is making more white people who ain't never done anything, any harm at all to black people, more incensed, more right. I thought we were over this. Man, I swear, I swore up and down years ago. I'm like, man, there ain't no racism out there nowhere, just about. I mean, you have your few people here and there, and you just wave them off, just like a gnat, bo. You just flick them off and move on with life. But, bo, this stuff has been dragged up from the abyss. I thought it was drowning in the black hole. Obviously not. That thing was sitting on the surface of the water, bacterium, waiting for somebody to drink it. Somebody drunk the water, and this thing sprout, bud, like the bubonic. I mean, it's bubonic now. It's all over the place. And like I said, man, it's getting more dangerous and dangerous for all kinds of people right now. All the riots, black people randomly attacking white people, telling them, about their white privilege, asking them to denounce. And us as black people, man, we got to stop it, man. And I noticed some black people out there who are against this stuff, who are like, man, we need to stop this, because the train we're going on, eventually folks going to get tired of it. And then once it starts to getting more and more into violence, that's when we're going to run into an issue, because now nobody's safe. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. What's y'all's thoughts on it? Just let me know in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate everybody for being here. Like, share, subscribe. Click the notification bell. It's your boy, XQ420. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.